What's up, guys in the works? And today on this lovely Sunday morning of Mother's Day, and I hope you guys all told your mothers that you love them, because I'm sure it's pretty important to them to hear that from their children. But we are using a gun that I personally used to love, speaking of love, and that's the M27 IAR, or Infantry Automatic Rifle, which is it's a weapon that isn't really used a whole lot, I've noticed lately. Like, obviously it's not technically an underused weapon, because it is used quite frequently just because it is the first available support weapon, and not a lot of people run support, so you tend to see this quite often, especially people who seem to be leveling up to support class. But this is actually, for some real life info, is the weapon that the Marines have selected to replace the M249. It will be, I think they bought quite a few of these actually to replace the M249, because I think there's like 2,000, or I think that there's 10,000 M249s in service right now in the Marines, and I think they bought like 4,000 or 5,000 of these to replace that. So that's kind of cool that this is actually a really new rifle. It's only been around since 2010, and to be honest, it's only really been in service since last year. So not a whole lot of these around. I mean, it's kind of that new technology type rifle, and it's kind of strange because it's not your typical LMG, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's not used so frequently, just because it is. And I didn't think this Humvee would see me if I was sneaky enough, but I was wrong. And I paid the price for it. But this game in general actually is a defense game, obviously, but it's one of those games where we get pushed all the way back, then we finally shut the door on these guys. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. It's not your typical LMG because it doesn't have that huge magazine. Or a huge like a belt fed clip. It is a magazine fed rifle, so it doesn't have huge amounts of ammo. It doesn't have a crazy 100 round magazine. It doesn't have a crazy 200 round belt fed extended mags like the M60 or the M249, or even the what's the other one, the M240 Bravo, which I'm not really a fan of that rifle at all, or machine gun, or whatever you want to call it. It's not a good gun. So in terms of a light machine gun, this isn't really a light machine gun at all. In fact, I would say it's more like a glorified assault rifle, because it does have a little bit larger magazine than an assault rifle, but it still feels and handles a lot like assault rifles. So it's kind of that ugly duckling in the machine gun category, because a lot of people have requested that I do a comparison between the RPK and the M27 IAR. And, I just sit down and think about it. I was like, there's really no comparison, considering that the RPK can have those giant, it has this extended mags now, which is obviously a glitch. But even so, to me, the RPK just seems a lot different than the M27, just because it is such a different breed. It just feels like a light machine gun, where this feels more like an assault rifle. So if you want to play the support kit and you're not a huge fan of the LMGs, this is obviously the way to go. Now, I've been fooling around with a lot of different attachments. I've tried it with flash suppressor, I've tried it with silencer, I've tried it naked. Like right now I'm using it completely naked. I don't like it with foregrip. I don't feel like foregrip really adds a whole lot to it, so I would avoid that. Heavy barrel is something that I would consider, but it already has a little bit of upward recoil, so that's why I've been fooling around with the flash suppressor a little bit, to kind of help that out. Now, a lot of people are like, well, you don't want to use flash suppressor because it'll hurt your hip fire. Well, hip fire isn't something that I'm really too concerned with, and I have no idea how that guy got revived. I should have gone back and watched that, because that bothered me during that game. I was like, how did that guy get revived? I'm sitting there killing his entire family, and somehow he comes back to life on a medic that I killed, so that was kind of annoying. But I completely lost my train of thought. But anyways, yeah, the M27 is just, it works best in my eyes with something that kind of reduces the recoil somewhat. It doesn't have a whole lot of side to side, so I didn't like foregrip on it. I did like heavy barrel just because it did increase that aim accuracy. That helped a lot, I thought. But overall, I think that it really just performs best with flash suppressor. Now, naked is my second choice because, naked's the way to go. I guess you could throw a bipod on there because the bipod's not going to hurt you. The reason why I don't have the bipod on now is just because I don't want to fool around with it. Now, you may be thinking about the title of this video like, well, isn't this a weapon you used to like? Why are you saying it's good now? Well, I don't really like it a whole lot, to be honest. Like, I used to love the M27. It was my go-to support weapon. I used it a ton until I discovered the 249. Now the 249 has been patched, and I've gone back to this to kind of, compare them, to kind of see where we stand on terms of the best LMG or weapon to use on the LMG class. And, it's really hard because I feel like DICE really, really nerfed the LMG class or the support class in general, just because they did hurt a lot of the heavy hitting weapons, because they have so much recoil now that if you don't use a bipod, you're pretty much at an extreme disadvantage. So that's kind of unfortunate, but I mean, I guess I understand why they did it, because they did give a lot of buffs to some of the damage on certain rifle or certain LMGs. But overall, I mean, I used to really, really love the M27. That would be the only thing I use. I think on my other account, I have like 347 kills with it, and I have a substantial amount time less played. So I know that may not sound like a lot, because I know a lot of you guys have like thousands and thousands of kills with certain rifles, certain guns, certain machine guns, certain PDWs. I use everything. Like, I have a service star with every single weapon other than the USAS, and I have a service star on Xbox with the USAS. So, I mean, I'm experienced with a lot of weapons. Like, I try to spread it out. I try not to use the same weapons and over. But the M27 was one I just kept coming back to. I really used to enjoy using it, but it's not so much anymore. It's just not my thing anymore. I don't know what it is, but I'm starting to rediscover it. I'm trying to play around with it, because I think it has a lot of potential. Just because it does have more ammo than your typical assault rifle, which that gives you a lot of things that you can do with it that an assault rifle can't do, but you still get that assault rifle handling. So I'm really intrigued by it. I'm trying to figure out what the best setup is. Right now I'm liking it with nothing, which sounds weird, but that's just the way I like it. You gotta love it naked, because naked's the best way, guys. But no, and then I also like it with heavy barrel and or flash suppressor. So try either of those out, fool around with it, see if you guys enjoy using it. But we do end up winning this game, which was a pretty hard fought game. I thought it was very interesting and pretty awesome. I enjoyed this game. But I will see you guys next time. Peace.